Today we're going to be talking about how to use your TI-84 to do statistics on samples. So the first way is when we're talking about something called the sample mean. In calculations with problems relating the sample mean, it is going to be very similar to the calculations of normal distributions. To find out more about this, please watch the previous videos on normal distributions. The first thing you need to know when doing statistics on problems relating the sample mean is because you have a new mean. Out of all the means from all the sampling you have done, you're going to have to calculate first the standard deviation. Since right now we're dealing with something called the mean of means, we're going to first have to calculate the standard deviation of that mean. To do this, you're going to divide the standard deviation over the square root of the sample size. In this case, the sample size is n. Once you have found that out, you're going to follow the same steps as a normal distribution calculation with your TI-84. So we're going to grab our TI-84 and it's going to be the same steps from the previous video. We're going to go second distribution or second vars, and this drop-down menu we're going to go to normal CDF. We found out last video the different possibilities of writing a lower and upper level, but you always will have a lower and you always will have to write down an upper level when using your TI-84. Then your mean, which is the exact same as the population mean. So your sample mean will be the exact same as your population mean. Now, the mean that you have here is not the population mean. This is the new mean that we have calculated following this formula. This is the sample mean. So even though here is denoted with sigma, that actually should be S. But since we're using the same calculation, the same formula, the same way, then we're going to pretend that that is actually the sample mean. So we will write a new sample mean and then we will get our calculation for that probability. The second situation that you could run out when doing samples or statistics about samples is when they give you a sample proportion. In this case, you're going to want to calculate the standard deviation of the sample proportion. And what you're going to do with that is you're going to do a square root of this formula right here. Once you have calculated the standard deviation, you are actually going to proceed exactly the same way as if you were doing a normal distribution sample. So we're going to go to our TI-84, we're going to go to second vars, again, same thing, and still we're going to go to normal CDF. We're going to still use this formula. Again, we're going to have a lower and upper value, but the difference is that now these values are going to be written in proportion form or a decimal value as probability as well. Now this mean right here, again, we're still using the same steps on the calculator, but this mean right there is actually going to be the population mean that they have provided us with. And the sigma right here is actually going to be this value that we have calculated, the new standard deviation. Once you have that, you will be able to calculate the proportion of the sample. Thank you very much. I will be posting more videos very soon.